Hey Tyler, I just wanted to talk about some journaling. So I know you are kind of like an expert journaler. I do journal as well. And anytime somebody like becomes a Christian, I love to encourage them to try journaling. Guys usually are like, I don't think so. But I think maybe there's some mystery around it. Maybe there's some like confusion. So yeah, man, I just want to ask you like, if you were asked like, what is journaling? You're explaining it to someone. What would you say? What do you think is helpful to know?
Sure. Yeah, I totally relate to the guys being like, oh, what is journaling? Is that like lock and key, like lock it up at night with a secret code and a password? And, but yes, that's exactly what I thought of it when I came to Jesus when I was in college, and my mentor said, you should journal. And I said, I've never journaled in my life. And so I think what is great for me, I would say I'm not an expert. Sometimes it's hard to journal because it's like, man, I don't know what to write, or maybe I don't know exactly how to communicate what I'm wanting to. But what I do is I really love to journal about my feelings and my walk with the Lord. So I think that's what journaling helps us do, and I think there's so many different ways to do journaling. And really, I hear from multiple of my friends do journaling in different ways, or they write music, they draw pictures. I know some really artistic journalers out there that like their pages are just full of these pictures and these portraits, and I'm like, dude, that's crazy. Mine just full of a bunch of scribble words. But yeah, I think anytime, I love including dates. I think including a date when you're journaling is so huge, because you can look back and look like, well, this was 4 years ago, this was 10 years ago. So a date, I guess, what else?
So for both of us, and it sounds like I also started in college. I did not do it before then. And I started journaling after I became a Christian. So journaling for me was really just me praying to God. So I would date it and I'd be like, hey God, and I would just start talking to him. And that really helped me slow down and think about what I was saying to him. But yeah, I did. I started a journal. I filled up 2 journals for my future wife. I didn't know who it was going to be. Yes. So many immature, ridiculous things I wrote in that thing.
Was it like, I hope you're cute?
There's so many, like, I named different girls I thought would be her. And I'm like,
yes.
And so, but yeah, so
Did
Stephanie.
You let Stephanie read these?
Yeah, so she read them on our honeymoon. And yeah, it's just so fun to see that, and just to see like where God was with me during that time and how I was growing. And yeah, like my wife and I, we are writing in a journal right now for Flynn, our oldest son, who we're going to give when he's 18. And then we are going to start another journal for our next son, who's just been born a few weeks ago, for Barrett. So yeah, we love to journal. We don't do it a lot. Like, this is not a daily thing for me. So I guess that takes away a lot of the guilt if I'm not like doing it every day. Flynn has been alive for about 2 years, and he maybe has like 10 pages. But if it's going to be 18 years, like, it's going to fill up. So we definitely aren't always like, I'm not cramping up writing every day. But yeah, that's good.
But I also think like, I think if you want to write every day, I know some people who write every day, twice a day.
Yeah.
I did meet someone who did it 3 times a day. You know, like they would put what they ate for breakfast, what lunch and dinner, and write everything that was going on about their day. If that works for you, I think that's great.
Yeah.
But I would say, I definitely don't write every day. It's kind of these big moments in my life that I've seen God move, or I'm wrestling with something, I need to just write it out. I think that's where journaling has really come into my life and played a huge role. So did Stephanie, did she write future journals?
No, she never wrote anything to her husband. No, and yeah, it's been good. I guess I would be thinking then, what have been the benefits for you? So like, I know what's been good for me, but like, why do you journal? What has like, maybe what it's accomplished or helped, or even like, I just talked about reading back over some old ones. What have you seen through that process?
Yeah, I brought an old journal with me today. So this is from college, and you look through some of these dates. These were all old name badges from Nav Nights. So all sorts of crazy, they used to call me Beard, so it's a fun memory to look back on. Here's from 2012. I was just reading here, let me see if I can find it. I had this journal, first quiet time on mountain, beautiful, 3/18 of 2012. I was on a ski trip in Steamboat Springs with some friends. I just remember the mountains. I think what I love when I read back through these journals is it takes you to that moment. Like, it takes you to that moment in time that you have put on paper And I mean, even just experiencing the same emotions, the same feelings, the same, honestly, this closeness to God too in these big moments.
Awesome.
But I think for me, Man Run, 8/2/2013, first journal after coming home from Argentina. So mission trips, always try to debrief mission trips. So now I've since updated from the Mead 5-star. So these kind of rip apart and tear apart. Leah got me this for Christmas this last year. It's genuine leather.
Wow.
With a pen holder.
That's awesome.
It's pretty sick. And then 2 journals.
Wow.
So 2 Moleskine journals, and these are fresh. These are fresh from Target still. So one of them's for work-related stuff, and one of them's for personal. So it just helps me be organized as well. I found that when I journal, I kind of had it all mixed together, but I think keeping my thoughts separate is really helpful for me.
Yeah. So if there was like someone who's like, okay, I'm interested, how do I start journaling? And then what do I journal about? If you're going to give like top 3 or 5 or just some various things, like, hey, you could try to journal about this or do this, use it for this purpose. What would you think would be helpful? Someone wanting to get into this.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think usually the hardest thing about doing any sort of discipline is to get started. And so I think make it easy on yourself, whether that's, you have to buy a journal. So maybe just a commitment to go walk down the journal aisle at Target. They sell moleskins. They sell nice stuff. Buy a journal, get a pen, find a place to be quiet. And I like to just start with writing out what I'm feeling in that moment. And oftentimes it lets me just come back and be like, okay, I'm feeling this way, but what's going on is a way deeper thing. And it's not, all of a sudden, or maybe it's, I'm way overreacting. My feeling isn't matching what is actually going on in my heart. But
That's good. Just in a journal, I like to write out verses, and I love bubble letters. So I'll bubble letter like key words from a verse that like stick out to me. And I am not artistic, but I love to draw. So I doodle little things. So I just say, spiritual aspects of it, there's a lot of good stuff. Even like if I'm angry at someone, sometimes it helps me just to write down, and it's me talking to God, really. I'm venting. I'm like, God, this person did this and they said this and here's how I'm feeling. And I don't know how to deal with this. And just like you were saying, processing out some of those good and bad emotions rather than blowing up and trying to talk to someone might not be the best first place to start. So
yeah, I even think like, I don't know, when do you find yourself journaling? Like, I know some people who journal before they have a quiet time with Jesus. I know some people that do it afterwards, or some do both. I think for me, sometimes, for me to like really focus and calm my heart to sit before the Lord, I really have to write out like, sometimes it's even just a list of like, here's these 20 things up in my head that I'm trying to remember. And I know that in order for me to be quiet before the Lord, I need to get them off my mind and put them on paper so I can come back to that. That makes me settle. But then I can write afterwards. I don't know if you have what would you say timing wise? Like, best to journal?
And my process, all right? So it's always changing, but I have to have coffee. So I have a cup of coffee. I have to have music. Like, I can't do it in silence. So I have to turn on worship music. So I have worship music going. I have my cup of coffee, and I journal first. So it's just me talking to God, helping prepare my heart, like you were saying. And I always end my time journaling with, okay, God, now I'm going to open the Bible. Can you speak to me through your words so I can understand? And then I'll read the Bible, and then sometimes a verse will pop out and I'll write back in the journal a little bit. But that's usually like my little process now with journaling. But what about you, man?
Yeah, I would say similar. I also just came to my mind of like prayer requests, like people that you're praying for. I can look back on journals, not this one particular, but just journals where I have written down names of people that I'm praying for to come to know the Lord. And so just even that, like you can, so yeah.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. Well, sweet. If you guys have never journaled, try it today. If you have journaled, hopefully you picked up some new tips or new ways of thinking, like, oh, maybe I could try that or this. And if you have something that we did not talk about that really motivates you, share it in the comments. Like, we would love to hear about what your thoughts are on journaling, because we'd love to keep growing in that.
Yeah, or if you haven't journaled and this is your first time journaling, maybe share it in the comments as well. Like, how it went.
Yeah.
Was it awkward? Was it great? Was it just share all of it, because we understand. So
that'd be awesome.
Cool.
All right.
Well, thanks everyone.